My name is Philip Smith. I'm the editor of CALIBR Magazine. I'm married, 2 kids, out of the house. I'm an empty nester now. And I spend all my time focused on firearms and information around the African American community. I come from a background really not involving firearms at all. My family, when I was coming as a kid, my father didn't talk about guns. My mother didn't really talk about guns. We were active outdoors. We went hiking and camping, and that's probably the reason why I like hiking and camping now. But my background isn't necessarily firearms. It was more of just being active. The attraction to guns and firearms came at a later date. I was working in an office downtown Atlanta, and 2 of my coworkers came to me and they said, "Hey Phil, we're going to the range this Saturday." This is a Monday, mind you. And I said, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'll pass, you guys. You know, I'm really not a gun guy." And they were like, "Philip, you gotta come. You really gotta come." It was the first time I really felt empowered. I felt like I was a combination of Rambo, Terminator, but in a positive way. I wasn't destructive. I just felt really energized as a human being because I was going through a human experience. And for the first time I felt like, you know, this is fun. This is a positive experience. It's healthy. You're getting out there, you're a chance to do something you've never really done before and learn a new skill with a tool that I've never really used before. And that experience really kind of turned the light bulb on and really got me thinking about guns in a different way. I came away feeling really, really happy. And I said, you know what? I got to do this again. Completely changed my narrative. I've been able to meet people that I've never thought I would be able to meet. Good folks. You know, I'm not saying everybody's perfect, but definitely met a good group of people that we have a common interest, being Second Amendment. We want to be able to protect ourselves. I think that common thread, regardless of your political leanings, regardless of your sexual orientation, regardless of how you feel about other things outside of that, we all have that one core belief that we have the right to protect ourselves. So I've met many, many folks based on that thread, and it's kind of weaved its way through society, particularly the African American community. I've met doctors, I've met unemployed, I've met rich folks, I've met entertainers, I've met nurses, doctors, teachers, federal workers, police, military. So I've met a lot of different folks that I never would have met. I was able to go outside of my comfort level when getting involved with firearms. So it's been great for me. It's not only a civil right, it's a human right. Just imagine if every African came across to America and got off that ship, was given, as a slave, a box of ammo and a rifle. What would happen to the trajectory of our history? It would be dramatically different than what it is right now, because we were able to defend ourselves. There would be no Tulsa massacres. There would be no Rosewoods. There would be no Red massacres in Detroit. All those massacres would not happen because we have the ability to protect yourself. Currently, right now, the fastest growing new gun owner in the industry right now are African Americans. And within that subset are black women. Black women are coming. They're coming in numbers. They're coming with disposable income, and they're coming with a purpose. They want to get guns. I understand that and recognize that. And more importantly, the industry, powerful, huge gun companies are seeing this dynamic of these millions, and I mean millions of African American women coming and saying, you know what, we want a gun. You cannot ignore the obvious. If you go to any gun range anywhere in the country, you now see us, and we see us in numbers. We're not just sitting there alone in the corner. We got 4 or 5 of us, and we're wanting to do what everyone else is doing. We want to have a gun. We want to learn how to protect ourselves and our family. That is probably the most important dynamic that's going on, is that our community is coming. We want guns. We want to purchase guns, and within that subset, we have millions and millions, and I mean millions of black women that are saying, you know what, I need to have a gun at home. If somebody breaks through that door at 2 a.m., I want to be able to protect myself and my babies. And I think that's something that can't be overstated. Black life and protection, that's the essence of CALIBR Magazine. Black life, that's black people, and protection, being able to protect those people. If you cannot protect your people, you don't have a community. If you don't have a community, you don't have a people. So the two are integrated intimately, and that's what the essence of the magazine is about. Are there other aspects of the magazine? Absolutely. But the essence, the core, is being able to protect the ones that you love, yourself, your family, and your community. I think we need to sit back and invest in those that believe in us, regardless of color. If somebody is for our community, we need to back him or her, point blank. You wouldn't need to invest in you better invest in us, and not somebody that pops up Johnny lately that we never heard of, that hasn't put any work into our community over the years, just saying they can suddenly help us out. I'm very wary of those type of individuals. I want people that have a long-term committed interest. That's what we need to start backing. You have to have enough respect to sit down and say, you know what? I'm gonna respect you if you respect me if I'm talking. If you guys can get to that point, that's a huge win. And I get questions a lot from people that necessarily don't like what I believe, but I do one thing. Just tell me how you came to this point in your life where you believe what you believe. I'll listen to that and then I'll give my response. Is that okay? And they most say, sure, Phil, and this is what I believe. And they'll go in and say how they don't like this or that. And I'll listen and I'll listen and I'll say, you know what? I appreciate what you said, brother. I appreciate what you said, sister. Now this is what I believe and this is how I got to this point. And then we have dialogue. We go back and forth. Might not be somebody that I ever want to talk to again. It might be somebody that really doesn't want to talk to me again. There might be some serious tension, but you had the respect to have a dialogue. When you can have a conversation at the end of the day, you're in a better place. Because yelling and screaming on either side of the aisle, regardless of your political leanings, regardless of how you feel about guns, regardless of how you feel about the Second Amendment, if you can't even talk to one another, you're just throwing verbal rocks at one another and nothing gets accomplished. And that's a lost art right now. People sitting down and being able to just listen to the other man. Because right now we're in this cancel culture. Don't tell me anything that I don't want to hear. If you say something I don't want to hear, you're a bad person. Life doesn't work like that long term. It just doesn't. You have to be able to sit and listen to somebody, even though what you might be hearing might be so opposed to your inner essence. But you have to listen, because that person's a human, they're an American citizen, and they have an opinion. That's the way the world works, especially in the United States. I think first and foremost, we should understand where your money's going. I believe in the global family, the global community. We're all interconnected. I think we need to spend money in the Black community and other communities as well that support us. If you support us, we're going to support you. But I would never advocate taking my money to someone that's really not going to be supportive or believe in my community and my people. I don't think that's just a good strategy, whoever you are. The reason why I started the National African American Gun Association. NAAGA, for the first time in history, allows African Americans to come together that want to protect themselves utilizing a firearm. And the reason why that's so important is that we've never had that in history, where we can come to an organization on a national level that says, it's okay, for one, we're about us solely. Others are able to join, but our sole focus is on African Americans, period, unapologetically. And third, and a key component, is that we talk about the history of Black arms. We talk about the Buffalo Soldiers. We talk about Tuskegee Airmen. We talk about the Deacons of Defense. We talk about Harlem Hellfighters. We talk about Harriet Tubman. We talk about Nat Turner. We talk about all those heroes that we've had in the past. That combined with training and history comes out with a great synergy that has not existed for African Americans ever. And that's a powerful experience. That's a powerful narrative. When I say brotherhood and sisterhood, I think we're really talking about, do you see the value in the other person that looks like you, that's standing next to you in your community? Do you connect with that value? More importantly, do you value them, or are you looking out for their best interest at all times? You may not even know them, but you just might be passing them in the street. How you doing, brother? How you doing, sister? There's a respect, there's integrity, there's an embracing of who we are and being very proud. That's what I mean by brotherhood and sisterhood. We can easily walk past somebody and ignore their existence, but sometimes a wave or a conversation, getting in touch with them on a personal level, you might be talking at the bus stop or talking at church, that means something. The organizations that can do that well have great memberships because people connect with one another. They have value with one another. That's why when I say brotherhood and sisterhood, I really mean that. Do you care about your fellow man that looks like you? And I say I do, and I think that's important. And that can be infectious also. I think when you have a great idea combined with great folks, combined with a lot of energy and passion, that's a powerful formula for success. And for African Americans, that is an experience that we don't have a lot of times. Too often, you've heard the terms crabs in a bucket. We're pulling each other down because either jealousy or apprehension, or it doesn't look quite right, or it can't be true. But it can be true. If the core group of people are sincere, anything is possible. And I use the term hope. That's when hope comes into play, because you are actually envisioning something better than what you see right here before you. And I think that's what's going on right now when we have this community of folks that are coming together. The growth, the maturation process that our community is going through right now, it's not a renaissance, it's an awakening. is all trending in different areas at the same time to something beyond just firearms. It's hiking, it's adventure, it's a lifestyle, it's doing things that we used to do years ago as a people that we're kind of getting in touch with again. Fishing, just going out and camping as a family, going in the outdoors. That's what the essence of CALIBR Magazine is. And it's not only grasping at those and pulling us up, but it's educating us in the same process. We don't feel awkward going camping now. We have a magazine to look to. We don't feel awkward going fishing. We have a magazine that can kind of talk about fishing. We don't feel awkward buying camouflage pants or whatever when we go hunting. We have a magazine that talks about that. We don't feel awkward when we go and say, honey, we're going to take a 10-mile hike. I read in CALIBR about that. Those are all positive things. So the firearm might be the catalyst, but the broader breadth of stroke of information and experiences are a lot more than just shooting. It's the whole outdoors lifestyle, and that's what CALIBR is all about. NAAGA is producing CALIBR because it's a natural maturation that we're going through. I'm going full circle with my skill set and my experience, and that's what NAAGA is doing when promoting the magazine CALIBR. It's a natural progression of our community as it applies to firearms and outdoor activities. When you don't join the community, you're kind of relegated to being on the outside. You're by yourself, and as I've always said, collectively, if we come together, you're in a much better situation. The reason why it's so important to everyone listening to me today to join the CALIBR community is because it's going to be the first time that we can connect with each other, being able to engage with many thousands of others that are like us, that have an interest, that have experience. At the end of the day, you'll be a lot happier. You'll meet some new folks you've never met before, and more importantly, you're going to learn information. When you join the CALIBR community, you're going to get connected to folks just like you. Some are very experienced about camping, but they'll talk about fishing, they'll talk about hunting, they'll talk about outdoor activities, they'll talk about hiking, they'll talk about all the things that you are interested in doing and want to do in one community. So please join the CALIBR community today.